actors, and you can be an actor too.
Today, we're going to show you how to use your vocal acting skills to make a Pick-a-Puppet show.
Puppets have a wonderful way of drawing out our unique voices. Whether we use a sock puppet, stick puppet, finger puppet, or any other kind of puppet we create, we can't help but give it a voice that is different from our own.
To put on a puppet show, we're going to need two things, puppets and our voices.
Great, let's get started. I love puppet shows. So where are the puppets?
All around us.
I don't see them.
Well, with a bit of imagination, anything can be a puppet as long as I can make it move and give it a voice. How are you doing? It's a puppet.
Cool.
So let's practice bringing our object or puppet to life. We call that animation. Tori, why don't you pick an object in the room that we could use as our puppet?
Okay, Ooh. There you go.
Oh, very cool. Now, let's imagine, what character could our found object represent? If I hold it like this, it kind of reminds me of an airplane because its rounded cap kind of looks like the nose of a plane. But if I stand up like this, it reminds me of a tree because it's straight and tall.
Yeah, let's pretend it's a tree. Next, we need to imagine what our character's personality is like so we can give it a voice. Some trees grow very tall with deep roots, so this character could be strong and wise. But do you remember the fable, The Oak and the Reeds?
Oh, yeah, the oak tree was strong and proud, but it was stubborn and wouldn't bend with the wind like the reeds would.
It might be fun to make the tree's personality strong but stubborn.
Yeah, let's pretend that our puppet is the oak tree from The Oak and the Reeds.
Great. Now that we know our puppet's personality, we can think about its voice. How could you change your voice to sound stubborn like the oak tree? Will you speak higher or lower? Will you speak faster or slower? Will you speak through your nose or in the back of your throat or somewhere else?
I think I'm gonna make my placement out the side of my mouth, like I'm grumbling about everything. I think that sounds pretty stubborn.
And finally, be sure to add movement to make your puppet look like it's alive and talking. Ready? Let's try it.
Hey, I was standing here. Get off my roots. I ain't getting out of the way for no one.
That's great. Now that we've practiced animating an object like a puppet, we are ready to try Pick a Puppet with another story.
The show is about to begin.
This time, we are going to tell a story that we already know rather than improvising or making it up as we go.
What story should we tell?
Well, since we've been working on fables in class, let's tell the story of the Lion and the Mouse.
Sounds great. Be sure to read the story first before we add the puppets. We're going to want to figure out what we already know about the characters.
Luckily, Kyle and I just read The Lion and the Mouse. I remember the mouse being timid and afraid. She accidentally wakes the lion up from his nap, trying to get away too quickly and running across his nose. She is definitely smaller than the lion.
And the lion is angry and threatening when he first wakes up, but he is amused by the mouse and decides to let the mouse go. He is larger and more confident than the mouse.
Perfect. So this time, why don't you find an object in the room that will represent the lion, and I will find an object that represents the mouse.
Alrighty, let's see if we can find one.
Okay, we have our puppets. We already know their personalities. Now we just need their voices. Kyle, what do you think your lion would sound like?
Well, the lion is a large character, and when I think big, I think of a low pitch. After its size, I think of a lion's teeth. So my placement is going to be very dental, right behind my teeth. And the lion is never in a rush. The jungle moves on his time, so he will speak slowly, sounding something like this. Roar! How dare you awaken me from my sleep?
And for my mouse character, I think I will have a small, high-pitched voice, a quick, nervous pace, and an airy sound that is focused out the top of my head. It may sound like, "Please don't hurt me, spare me today, and I may repay your kindness in the future."
Okay, I think we're ready to tell our story.
Oh, wait, what about the narrator?
Oh, that's a good idea. A narrator is someone who tells the story.
And our puppets say the character's lines.
Great. Since it's just the two of us, why don't we take turns as the narrator?
Sounds great. I'll start. A lion lay asleep in the forest.
A timid little mouse came upon him unexpectedly.
Eek! A lion!
And in her fright to get away, she ran across the lion's nose.
Uh-oh! Awakened from his nap, the lion laid his huge paw angrily on the tiny creature to grab her.
How dare you awaken me from my nap? Now you must pay!
Spare me, I beg you! Please let me go, and someday I will surely repay you! The lion was much amused to think that a mouse could ever help him.
A mouse help a lion? You amuse me, little one.
But he was generous and finally let the mouse go. Oh, thank you!
Notice how Tori and I animated our puppets? We used both our voices and the puppets' movements to show how the characters feel and behave.
We invite you and your classmates to try Pick a Puppet.
Start by picking a story that you want to tell. Is it something you've read in class? Is it something that you've made up?
Then, figure out who the characters are and what their personalities are like. Work together to figure out what character you will be playing.
Think about what you already know about your character from the text or story, if you need to read the story again.
Then, quickly find an object that represents the character you will be playing. This will be your puppet.
Your voice is what will really bring this character to life, so figure out what your character sounds like.
Right. Think about how you will change your pitch, pace, and placement.
Yes, these are great tools that we have as actors to show our audience our character's personality.
Consider adding a narrator to tell the story. That will help you know when you want to move your puppets or say any lines.
Finally, practice it all together. You may need to practice a few times.
The more you practice, the more comfortable you will feel.
So, keep practicing
And have fun.